stream, let's fire it up. Morning crew already rolling deep. I'd imagine that with the good vibes keep. Screens glow bright, it's go time now. MrCoop's here and he's shutting it down. Big laugh, straight facts, nothing disguised. Countdown hits and the camera shine. Red light flashing right on time. The mic is hot, the talk's alive. MrCoop bringing the morning drive. Say your piece, give it all you got. Wake the whole world cause the mic is hot. Yeah, we sip that brew, settle in our spot. Conversation flowing while the mic stays hot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, oh, yeah. He scans the chat with a careful glance. Calls it real, gives everyone a chance. Keep it cool, keep it clean. Step too far, he'll cut the scene. Whoa, yeah. Stories rolling, punchline land. Morning crew, feeling grand. From deep discussions to laughing loud. This right here is our kind of crowd. No cue cards, no holding back. Just real life talk on the morning track. Hands up high, let the energy fly. Everybody tune cause the mic is high. Yeah. Talk times on the vibe won't stop. MrCoop turning it up a notch. Speak your truth, bring what you got. Truth meets laughter when the mic stays hot. From the first hello to the last coffee pour, we're locked in strong. Wanting more, wide awake from the jump. No lie, morning feels better when the mic is high. Good morning's flying, no call out. Every voice counts in this crowd. Turn it up, don't miss your chance. Step right in and join the dance. So the mic is hot, the show's in gear. MrCoop keeping it real right here. Wake up, fired up, hit your stride. Everything's brighter when the mic is high.
Hey, good morning, D. How are you doing today? You asked me if I was on Rumble. Yeah, I'm on Rumble.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I saw something in chat that you didn't have Rumble started. I don't know. Maybe Rumble's behind YouTube?
Well, what it is I schedule my stream on Restream every morning, and it lists it on YouTube, but it doesn't list it on Rumble until I go live.
Oh,
Once I go live, then it pops up on Rumble, but it doesn't show it scheduled on Rumble until I go live.
oh, okay.
Because see, right now, if you go over there, boom, it's there.
Oh, okay.
That's the one thing I don't understand. Because when I schedule my stream every morning, it goes straight to YouTube, and it also goes to Rumble. It just doesn't show up in the Rumble world until I go live. I don't know why it does that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm live over there right now. Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, it's just one of those things. I don't know why it doesn't schedule it like it does YouTube. Maybe that's something I need to reach out to Rumble about. Everybody I keep talking about or talking to that has been dealing with Rumble say that they're very helpful. They help everybody that has questions. You know, they want to improve is what I'm getting at.
Right.
So this might be one thing that I hit them up with and say, hey, why don't you do this? Hey, this is just, one little thing, because at this point in time, most people show up on YouTube because it's scheduled and they click on it and then they can get a reminder for it. They can chat while they're there. You can't do that over on Rumble until you go live. So I don't know why they don't do it.
Oh, I don't know either. It's crazy. You would think if you schedule it that it would show everything and you should kind of sort of be able to set it up the same way as you do YouTube, like with notifications and stuff. I don't know.
Right. Now, once you go live, it's got your title, it's got your description, it's got all of your stuff. At the end of the show, I always have to go over and I have to put my thumbnail in. I have to put the tags in if I have any tags. It doesn't do that. But I have to do that on YouTube anyway, because on YouTube, once you schedule it through Restream, you have to go into YouTube Studio. You don't have to add your thumbnail. You don't have to add your description or anything, but you do have to go down and add your tags and set it to where it's, not for kids and all that good stuff.
Right. Okay. Okay. What did you end up fixing for dinner yesterday?
What did I fix? Oh, we wound up going to Stonix.
Oh, okay. Uh,
By the time she got done messing with her epoxy,
uh-huh.
uh, I wasn't feeling too hot, and I said, "Hey, what you want for dinner?" And she says, let's just go to Sonics." So yeah, I
Hmm.
went to Sonics.
We had
Sonics. What'd you have?
we had open-faced roast beef sandwiches with mashed potatoes and corn. I had purchased when I ran to the grocery store the other morning. I bought a pound of roast beef, and I said, "Well, nobody's really touching it for sandwiches for lunch." So I said, So I made some brown gravy and put the roast beef in the brown gravy and let it simmer in it for about 30 minutes. And then whipped up some mashed potatoes and pulled some frozen corn and nuked that. That was dinner last night. It was
There you
easy.
go. Now, Mama and I have been trying the French dip here
Mm,
lately. I'll get the roast beef, and then you take your au jus, just make
mhm.
up some au jus, and throw your roast beef in it. Take your hoagies, stick them in the oven with some cheese on. We've been using provolone. I'm thinking about trying Swiss next time. But anyway, put that in the oven, get it nice and bubbly, pull it
Mhm.
out, and then just load that roast beef on there. And then you take your au jus and put it in the bowl to dip it in.
Oh, wow.
That is quick and easy. You go to Walmart or Publix or whatever you have around you and just have them shave you some really thin roast beef.
Mhm.
It only takes maybe a couple of minutes, that roast beef being in an au jus, and it's ready to be put on the bread.
Right.
It doesn't have to sit in there very long. Now, if you want to get ambitious and just, how can I say this, doctor up your au jus, with other spices, and then let it sit in the refrigerator with the roast beef in it overnight,
Mhm.
and then heat it up. Now you're getting into some good stuff.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That might be a lunch for Saturday or Sunday. I haven't
But
decided yet. That
it's
sounds really
so
good.
it's so quick and easy. You just get the hoagie buns, you
Uh-huh.
know, you just split them, put that cheese on them, pop them in the oven just long enough for the cheese to bubble and get a little crunch on that outside of that hoagie.
Mm.
No, they're good. They're good. And it's bad for me because of the blood sugar, but it's a quick, easy meal.
Right.
Now, the other night, I did my pork fingers. There's a little gal I watch on, I can't remember if it's YouTube or Facebook. I think it's Facebook. And she always asks her husband, "What you want for dinner?" And he'll tell her whatever she tells him to say, and he'll say it. He says, "I want pork fingers and mashed potatoes." So she shows how to cook it, and all it is just a tenderloin. You go to Walmart or Publix, and you get the little 2 pack of pork tenderloins. Have you ever
Mhm.
seen them?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Well, one of them in that pack is enough to feed Barb and I. So you just slice them in strips and you beat them with the hammer,
Mhm.
season them up. You put them in flour, then egg, and then pico
Okay.
breadcrumbs. And
Okay.
it only takes like 2 minutes on each side, and boom, it's done. You heat up some mashed potatoes and corn, dinner's on.
Nice.
And it's so tender, you can cut it with a fork.
Wow. Now I'm hungry.
Right, right. But yeah, your dinner sounds amazing. Oh man, I'm thinking about having the sandwiches tonight.
It was really good. It was something different, and I was like, what am I gonna do with all this roast beef? Because nobody's really eating it. Because uh, I bought, the roast beef, I bought some ham, and I bought some turkey. And I was like, they could have whatever type of sandwich they wanted, or if they wanted all three meats or just one or whatever. And then everybody ate the ham and the turkey and nobody touched the roast beef. I'm like, is everybody scared of it? I don't understand. So I went and said, open face roast beef sandwiches for dinner. That was easier.
Oh man, we got everybody in the chat. Stop! We're getting hungry. Oh, what's Sharon got to say? I'm talking to former Strongsville police chief. He said Mackenzie's parents are so crazy, are just as crazy. Oh wow. Oh, and by
Mm-hmm.
the way, guys, we're going to go over the new filing today that came in. It's Jeremy's filing a response to Paint Chips asking for dismissal. We're going to go over that, but we're going to get into the McKinsey stuff again today. As soon as we're done with the motions, we're going to buzz right into the McKinsey stuff because we didn't get to the last two videos I wanted to yesterday. So I'm hoping today we'll get through the one. And I really would like to get over to Rumble to play the third one. The third one is by another person. It's not through Law and Crime. And then Sharon has been sending me a ton of videos. We do have the interview with the dad. Have you seen that one yet?
Now, is that the interview from Netflix or the other interview?
I don't know. It's not on Netflix. I don't.
Okay.
This is a link that Sharon sent me, but it's I don't know if it's the interview from Netflix or if it's an interview that somebody else did with the dad. I haven't watched it, but I do know that the entire video is him being interviewed, and he's sitting there in an orange shirt. So,
Okay.
did you watch? You watched the Netflix, right?
Yes, I did.
Did he have an orange shirt on during the Netflix thing?
I don't remember.
But I can't remember this guy's name. I've got it in my playlist. I do believe. Let me go see real quick. I can't. It's another YouTuber that has it out. But it's supposed to be. It's a pretty long video. It's a pretty long interview where he's being interviewed by somebody. Let me go get it real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Law and Crime. Okay, we don't want to play that. Oh, it's a YouTuber called True Crime This Week,
Okay.
and the dad is sitting out like in his backyard. I
Okay.
think he's doing an interview through the computer.
Oh, okay.
Because all it shows is him. It doesn't show the interviewer at all. It's just him by himself in the backyard. Matter of fact, I can pop it up here real quick. Share this tab. Oh, come back here. All right. Bam. I think Sharon's the one that sent it to me, but that's it right there.
No, that's not on Netflix. That doesn't look familiar.
Yeah, I think he did an interview with this YouTuber, but I would really like to go over his at one point in time to see what Crazy Dad has to say, because it to me it looks, if this is Dad, it looks like this guy's lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember the one we watched yesterday, Dad in the hospital and then Dad in the police station looked a lot heavier than this dude does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
And you
I
got to
don't know.
remember, she was sentenced in 2022,
Yeah,
2023,
yeah, I
something like
think.
that. So you gotta look at it. Look what stress has done to him. Okay, he had a job, now he doesn't have a job, and so stress is kicking him in the butt. And I listened to something yesterday. Did I send that to you? Oh
I can't
gosh.
remember.
I
Uh,
was cooking dinner and I was listening to it, and it's about all the things that she's done since she's been in prison that aren't supposed to happen in prison.
right.
And
I think the one we're doing today is the one that she's begging. Yeah, she begs for prison release.
Okay.
But the one you're talking about, I really want to get into that. But we've got now. I'm not going to say your last name, guys, and okay. But Sharon knows who she is. Sharon has sent me a ton of
Like I
videos, and
said, this
go
is
ahead.
it's all resurfacing. Things are starting to come out that didn't come out then.
Right.
People have been sitting on it trying to gather more and more and more. So there's a lot more happening now. And I think a lot of this that's coming out, um, the parents and the family members of the two young men may bring all of this up when she comes up for what is that called? Crap.
Oh, parole.
Parole. Yes. I think they will bring all of this into play, and it may it may keep her in jail longer. I don't know, but
I would hope so. I would definitely hope so. But I mean, think about it. Her attitude, from what we've heard so far, her attitude in prison don't look like she's gonna get out on good behavior. She's already been
mm-mm,
written up several times, from what I
many.
understand.
Yeah, it was a lot. She had a lot of. She was doing a lot of things that shouldn't have been happening. So
But when it comes to this stuff, we got Glory, you got Sharon, you got Matthew, Bob Page. Thank you to each and every one of you guys. Rob Page, you guys are just sending stuff left and right. And I
mhm,
truly appreciate it. And Stacy Nat's been hitting me up on Discord with some links. So there's a lot of stuff we got to
there
go
is.
over. We've got stuff for days and days to go over.
Hmm.
Pickles, Coop, I sent you one of when Dominic's mother. Yes, that's right. Nancy sent me
Hmm.
one too over on Discord. She's
And
becoming
remember,
a prisoner influencer.
yes, that's what that whole thing that I listened to yesterday while I was cooking was about. And I'm like, wow, I didn't think you were allowed to do that while you were in prison. And I was like, I didn't think that was possible.
Now, wasn't it you that was telling me, I think yesterday or day before, that they had put something in there's something in the laws to where they can't make money off of this?
Okay, that goes back to the 70s or 80s. And if somebody is in prison for killing somebody, uh, there's a law on the books that they can't profit
That
off of
right
it.
there, the Son of
Uh,
Sam revised.
yes, Son of Sam, and it they're wanting to include other social media. Before it was just movies and books and interviews, okay, where they would receive a percentage of the profit. So they are trying to, they've got a petition out there. There is a petition floating around. Last time I saw it, it was over 18,000 signatures on the petition to,
Right.
because they have because somebody like her is definitely, she would definitely try to profit off of this once she is out, and her family would too. So they're trying to add it to the Son of Sam law to incorporate Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any other social media platform. So,
Now, if you're convicted, okay, and you did it. I mean, you are 100% guilty. You did it. I don't think you should be able to make any money off of that
no,
whatsoever.
absolutely not. No.
If any money is to be made, it should go to the victims, not the
Yes.
people that are in prison. But now, if you're convicted wrongfully, okay, and you get let out of prison because you were convicted wrong, I think then you should have all rights to make as much money off of your story as you can. But now
Yeah.
this little girl,
Mm-mm.
in my opinion, I don't believe she should ever be allowed to make anything, especially her parents. Her parents seem just as nutty and as bad as she does.
Well, yeah. What mother in their right mind would go on their daughter's Instagram page and start trying to make deals with brands to help her daughter while her daughter is sitting in the hospital? Why would you do that? That's totally out of the norm. I would think that's out of the norm. Maybe I'm
Right.
wrong.
I don't know. It baffles me that I can understand people wanting to make money, but when you're in prison and you've been found guilty and there is no doubt in anybody's mind that you are guilty, I don't think you should be allowed to make shit. You shouldn't be allowed to make anything. Uh, but then again, I'm old, and I
Mm,
think that we should turn back the clock, 60 years and go back to hard time. Okay. Because these guys today, they go to prison. That's like a luxury for some of these guys.
right.
I'd like to see them out there on the side of the road cutting grass with the old sickles, busting rocks, big rocks making little rocks.
Right.
They talk about all of the riots in prisons and everything. And if you think about it, back during the days when they did hard time, where they literally busted big rocks and the little rocks and cut
Hmm.
grass, they were too damn tired when they got back to cause trouble, to riot.
Right.
Okay. All they wanted to do was chill.
Right.
They took all of that hard time out. And now these people are just sitting there 24 hours a day with nothing better to do than stupid shit. Now, some
Exactly.
of them they'll get educated, but a lot of them don't. They're just in it for the prison life. I don't know, but who am I?
Right. Like I said, it's good because honestly, I had forgotten about the Son of Sam law. And when they brought that up, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. They enacted that in the 70s or 80s or something like that. So all of these crazy people that got arrested couldn't profit, couldn't profit at movies and
Right,
books. But now there's so much more that can be included in that law across the board.
right. Mary, I hope you get to feeling better, girly girl. So, guys and gals,
Yes.
if you don't mind, keep Mary in your thoughts and prayers. If you pray, pray for her. If you don't, keep her in your thoughts. She's going through a few health things here lately. I hope you get to feeling better, girly girl. I really do. Dom's sister has a our podcast. She needs help with the revision of Son of Sam Law. Well, Sharon, if you have the link to her podcast, send that to me. Uh, maybe we can reach out to her.
Yeah.
Maybe have her on the show and do an interview or something. What you think about that?
If she would be willing to, yeah. Because
Yes.
that's really important, because honestly, everybody's seen it. She really didn't show any remorse. Her family didn't show any remorse for those 2 young boys,
Right.
and that right there speaks volumes when you're, in front of a parole board, when you are in prison and you are interacting with the officers and with staff, and, I mean, it's just crazy. It really is.
We got the J raid coming in. I have my favorites. Good morning, Stacy.
Hey,
Good morning.
Ace.
By the way, guys and gals, I'm sorry we didn't get into the mornings this morning. I apologize for that. We've already got 332 people in here. Just let me know, or let me say good morning to each and every one of you out there. Thank you for coming
Yes.
and hanging out with Dee and I.
And absolutely, it is Friday. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yes. Today is Friday. Last weekend we didn't do anything because of the holiday. I'm itching. I'm really itching to get up to Fort DeSoto and do some fishing. I've learned quite a bit from my little buddies that I watch on YouTube. So
Hmm.
I think Mom and I we're going to go to Fort DeSoto tomorrow and see if we can't catch some mangrove snapper.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
right. Or maybe
Also,
some what?
um, Nanny mentioned earlier, I think something with DR.
Yeah, from what I understand, DR's husband went in for back surgery. And
Okay.
he's had a few complications with it, not with his back, but with other health problems. So, yes, keep DR in your thoughts and prayers. She's one of our mods, and she's been kind of MIA lately. Uh, A lot of you people might know her as Dr. the Most. But yes, keep her in your thoughts and prayers as well. She's going through quite a bit of stuff right now. And by the way, Faves, I know we told you happy birthday yesterday, but hey, happy birthday again today.
Happy birthday to you. You're older. Woo-hoo. You might need more candles than your cake can handle. Happy birthday to you.
Well, Faze can just have a birthday week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I'm left Jay to hit the coop, Michael says. All right, all right.
Did you bang a left? Did you bang a left, Michael, on your way in?
Did you watch Jay this morning?
Bits and pieces.
He was going over some gal that the cops were trying to pull out of a car at a gas station, and I guess she just ramrodded right into him and took off. I mean, they had cars in front and back of her, and she bumper carred it until she got out there, and she took off. And they finally caught her. She was hiding underneath somebody's deck, but it was hilarious listening to Jay narrate that. It was. Oh, let's see. DR's husband got hit with sepsis. Oh, both of them need prayers and thought. Oh, I didn't know it was that bad because I haven't talked to her in a few days. I imagine that's the reason why. She's been hanging out taking care of hubby. So yeah, guys and gals, keep DR in your thoughts and prayers. Matter of fact, I'll reach out to her after I get done today and see how she's doing.
Right.
Because man, in the morning time.
Michael said yes. He did bang a left after he left Jay's to come in here.
But yeah, Jay started getting into his wrestling, and of course, I have to leave, to get over here. So I miss a lot of it. I always have to go catch like his last 30 minutes, I have to go catch on replay, but I like listening to him. Anyway, like I said earlier, guys and gals, and for everybody that's just came in, we will be going over, it's Fed 2. We will be going over Randy's motion answering Paint Chip's dismissal request. And then once we're done with that, Janice B or Janice MB, how you doing? How you doing? I celebrate my birthday all of June. Laugh out loud. She says, I did not anticipate making it past 23. So celebrate the crap out of my birthday and life. Right on,
Absolutely.
right on.
Hi, Joan.
Yeah. Good morning, Joan. Good morning. James is here. Good morning. Oh, I'm praying for them. We just lost Kyle Bush to sepsis. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Oh, cow. Oh, yes, Mr. Coop. We're in the ring. You fought like a beast, but you lost. There's some wrestler over there that goes by Cooper, I guess.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Liz, what you got to say? You wrestled good when you were younger at Coop. Yep, right. I missed it. I heard Jay say my name and I'm like, what? But by the time they got to wrestling, I had already had to take off to come finish up all the stuff over here. So, oh my. But anyway, like I was saying, guys and gals, we're going to talk about Randy's motion, and then as soon as we get done with that, we're going to roll into the McKinsey stuff again. I'd like to get a couple of her videos done today. The first one, we're going to do it here. The second one, we're going to take everybody over to Rumble because I don't want to get hit on YouTube for that one. And that one's supposedly a good one. I just haven't watched it yet. All right. Coop got bounced on a couple times. Stacy says, yeah. Was I bounced on with the guy that has no neck? I mean, that guy, have you seen this? He literally has no neck. It's just, he has no neck whatsoever. His chin goes all the way to his chest. It's just,
oh my God.
I'm like, he's a pretty good sized dude. All right. Let me pull this document up here. and we'll get started on this. We're about 30 minutes in. I don't want to waste too much time. Like I said, I'd like to get to now what I did, guys, is Randy's motion is 30 pages long. So I just did a summary on it. This will give us the meat and potatoes of what's going on, and then we'll get into the McKinsey stuff. When we get done with this, we'll answer some questions and we'll talk about it a little bit. But then we'll get into the McKinsey stuff. Can you see it all right, D?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, because I can read a lot of this too. So you don't have to squint for the whole thing.
Okay.
All right, here's a summary of the document. Plaintiff's response in opposition to defendant Luthmann's motion to dismiss the third amended complaint in the federal case involving Jeremy B. Hales and Paint Chips Jr. The overview. Okay. The plaintiff, Jeremy Hales, asked the court to deny Paint Chips to dismiss, or Paint Chips' motion to dismiss the lawsuit. The response argues that Paint Chips' objections are legally unsupported. Oh, wow. And that the case should proceed.
Okay. The main allegations. According to the filing, and everybody knows this, Hales operates a large social media business with over 730,000 YouTube subscribers and hundreds of thousands of followers on other platforms. Paint Chips allegedly published a manipulated, sexually explicit image video depicting Hales engaged in and altered another image to portray him as, well, we all see the words there. Hales claims the publications were intended to damage his reputation, business, and livelihood.
Okay, plaintiff's arguments against dismissal. 1. Service of process was proper. Hales argues that Paint Chips allegedly evaded service by providing inconsistent address information and refusing to cooperate despite knowing all about the lawsuit. Oh, substitute service through the Florida Secretary of State was therefore proper under Florida law.
Even if service was imperfect, the court should allow additional time because Hales made extensive efforts to serve him and Paint Chips suffered no prejudice since he had actual notice of the lawsuit. Number 2, sexual cyber harassment claim is valid. Hales argues that Florida's sexual cyber harassment statute applies even when images are manipulated or fabricated. The filing contends that the law covers any image depicting sexual conduct and does not limit claims to authentic photographs. Excluding altered images would create a loophole, allowing people to avoid liability simply by fabricating images. So does that mean, even though, let's say if it was an original photo, but then you altered it, does that fall under that? I'm okay.
Maybe. But you've got to alter it enough to where the likeness, if you saw it, you wouldn't say, that's MrCoop. Okay. It would have to be altered enough to where they couldn't put me as that person. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I would think, and don't hold me to that, but I would think that you would have to alter it enough to where you couldn't look at it and just say, oh, that's Jeremy Hales. Okay. Or, hey, that's MrCoop.
Okay.
And he didn't do that. He literally used Jeremy and Megan's real photos. I mean, there's like, you guys see the thumbnails that Tug puts out.
Right.
His are They resemble the people, but they're not exact. If you're not part of this story and you knew who Jeremy Hales was, but you didn't know anything about the internet stuff, okay, and you saw one of Tug's thumbnails, you probably wouldn't put two and two together that Tug's image of Jeremy is Jeremy Hales.
Okay.
It makes sense?
Yeah. The complaint sufficiently alleges all required elements, including lack of consent, lack of legitimate purpose, and intent to cause emotional distress.
Oh, I was wondering who. I kept seeing MBL come up, and that's Mama Bear Leah. Everybody's abbreviating her stuff. All right. Now, because I thought there for a minute that Faves was talking to me, and she wasn't. She was talking to Mama Bear Leah. Okay. Now I'm. It's all there.
Okay.
Do I need to scroll?
Yes.
All right. Number 3, federal court has jurisdiction. The plaintiff argues the case exceeds the 75,000 federal jurisdiction threshold because it includes claimed actual damages of approximately $370,000. Okay, wow. Statutory damages under Florida law. Oh, what do we got here? Requested injunction relief requiring removal of the images and attorney's fees authorized by statute. The filing emphasizes that I'm having tongue tie. Emphasizes, I got to get the Z in there, emphasizes that Jeremy Hales' income depends heavily on his online reputation and social media presence.
Joinder of defendants is proper. Hales argues that both defendants allegedly participated in a broader campaign to damage his reputation and social media business, creating common, factual, and legal issues suitable for one lawsuit. Even if joinder were improper, the plaintiff argues that the remedy would be serving claims into separate cases, not dismissing them.
Okay, now what's this joinder?
Don't quote me and don't hold me to it, but
I think he's talking about keeping Lynette and paint chips in the same.
Right. But it's saying if joinder were improper, like separating.
Right.
So, but he's saying it's not improper because they both allegedly in the previous paragraph states that they participated in a broader campaign. So there's no reason to separate and create different cases.
Now I remember Tug reading a lot about this last night. Even though ours has been summarized, I remember Tug when he was saying, it basically sounded like, I didn't read Paint Chip's motion to dismiss, but it sounds to me, since they brought this up, that he's trying to separate from Lynette to where he can just go his own way with Jeremy. And that's where Jeremy and Randy are arguing, no, it would be easier to keep the two together. That way it would cut down on judicial, revenues and all of that stuff.
Okay. But that would be dependent upon what the magistrate decides.
Right.
If he wants to keep them together, or if he feels that separating them would be a better, I don't know, service to the court.
To be honest with you, I think this is kind of jumping the gun with Luthmann saying that, because I still believe once the stay is done, I still believe that they're going to drop Lynette from Fed 2. I still believe that. Now, we were talking about the Fed 2 case the other day. They've got them for defamation, her and Crook in Fed 1, right? Mm-hmm. All right. With Fed 2, did they is he going after her for something other than defamation in Fed 2? I can't remember. I think somebody had
I'd
said,
have to go back and I would have to reread the amended complaint because I can't remember.
because if I remember correctly, somebody in the chat was talking about that, and we've picked it up that he was going after her for something completely different than defamation in Fed 2. Because if he's going after her for defamation, why would she stay in Fed 2 when they can just do it in Fed 1?
Right. Well, that makes sense. But if it's something different, if it's separate from Fed 1, then she would remain. But I think you're right. Once all of this bankruptcy has been hashed out,
Yeah.
I got a funny feeling. I got a funny feeling too that she's not going to stay in the case. She'll be relieved of that. You know what I'm saying? She'll be let go from it.
I honestly think she's going to be let go, just like the rest of them were. Here it is, right here, Third Amendment complaint. Let's go see if we can find out what she was. Okay, what they're going after her for. Now is this Naples? All right, Mr. Hales, resident. See if we can find Lynette here somewhere and find out what they're going after her for. Preston's initial relationship with plaintiff. Okay, what are you going after her for, Jeremy? I can't remember. Preston's defamatory. Well, it looks like he's going after her for defamation again.
But is that in the first one as well, or was the first one the signs?
In Fed 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Fed 1, it's clear-cut defamation because of the signs and everything.
So,
but I thought Preston's statements showing improper motive, the stalking case, okay, that's Ohio. And see, now it's down to Luthmann. So count 1, malicious. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Regarding malicious prosecution against the defendant Preston. Oh, I didn't know about that. I didn't remember this. Petition injunctions, stalking. Okay, this is all right. This is all talking about Ohio. 50 occasions Preston invoked okay, talking about her deposition. I want to know what he's going after her for. And this one's on paint chips. And that right there, okay, it clearly says what he's going after Jeremy for here. Sexual explicit images. Violates the Florida's. Okay, well, let's get back up to count 1. Maybe that'll tell us right in the beginning. Statement of fact, jurisdiction. Because he should have had a count 1, right?
Should have.
Maybe they know in the chat. Fed 1 is the signs, right? What do you got to say, Marilyn? Melinda. Oh, there we go. I think she will be jailed, and the child will be given to the family because she won't stop the crazy stuff she keeps doing and saying things. Right? I agree. Elfie says, yeah, Elfie, see, that's just it. Everything was so jumbled on the first 2 complaints. I never did figure it out, but this one did break it down. It did break it down somewhere what he was going after her for. I can't remember. Anyway, hopefully somebody in the chat will tell us what it was. I can't remember what it was. Here there. Oh, Silhouette, good morning. Hey there,
Hey,
Coop.
Silhouette.
How you doing? Glad to have you. Oh, there's my sweeties in the house. Mama Coop.
Hey, Mama Coop.
Okay. But anyway, We'll get back to this. Somebody will let us know in the chat.
Okay. Did we skip something?
No, I just went back to this.
Okay.
Is this?
Yeah, right there, the number 5.
Oh, you didn't get to the number 5 yet? Okay, I'm
No,
sorry. I'm
that's all
sorry.
right. Anti-SLAPP argument should fail. The plaintiff contends that the Florida anti-SLAPP statute does not justify dismissal at this stage, and that any request for attorney's fees under that statute is premature.
Now,
Yeah, because
anti-SLAPP. Let's talk about that for a minute. You want to do? I'll do it over here real quick.
okay.
I think anti-SLAPP is basically when somebody tries going after somebody that's talking about them online, right?
Right.
And let's go. I'm going to search that real quick. I can't remember what it's all about. ANTISLAPP. All right. Anti-SLAPP laws protect individuals from strategic lawsuits against public participation. Okay, that's what I thought it was. Basically, the anti-SLAPPs is, say, for instance, we're talking about this case, right? Right there. We're talking about this case, and we're giving our opinions, and the opinions that we're giving, the person we're talking about in the case doesn't like it, and then they decide they're going to go sue because their fifis were hurt. Anti-SLAPP is to prevent that.
Okay.
All right. Well, help prevent it.
Gotcha.
Anyhow, guys, I think that's what MLS filed for was anti-SLAPP. Whether he'll get it or not, I don't know. He's asking for lawyers' fees and sanctions based on it. But as far as I know, he's the only one in Fed 2 that even brought it up. So if he does get awarded something, I think he'll be the only one. I'm not 100% sure, though.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because was it Hinkle or was it Belitho that said that attorney fees weren't proper at this time?
Well, that's where we get into the the arguments that a lot of people are having over that. Some people claim that, yes, he's entitled to lawyer's fees. Some people claimed that, no, he is not. Here's where it gets kind of funky, is when Hinkle put out his order, he basically said, okay, Jeremy Hales, at this point right now, you're looking at about this amount of fees, maybe. Okay, but if you include MLS in an amended third complaint, those fees could get higher.
Right.
Okay, well, he didn't. So some people are saying, well, he's just not going to get fees at all now. Some people are saying, no, he's going to get fees. They just won't be as high as what they would have been if Jeremy would have added him to the third amended complaint. I'm still up in the air, but I'm sure that 2L's over there will make sure and say that I said something I didn't say. I have no clue at all what's going to happen with MLS and his SLAPP stuff. Okay.
Right.
I haven't even read his motion for any of that stuff.
Right. Al says that Hinkle said no one is getting attorney fees at this time.
Okay.
So it's, I guess it's now is not the time. If something happens down the road, I don't know.
Right. Some people are saying that there's a time limit that MLS didn't file in time. I don't know. I don't have any clue. Like I said, I haven't read any of his motion that he filed asking for all of this stuff. So I guess I'd probably know more if I'd go read it. Which I would like to read it because his lawyer does actually write these motions clearly, and I like reading his lawyer stuff. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Oh, so what was the latest filing? I am also curious now what I'm curious now that the BK is dismissed. No, the bankruptcy is not dismissed, Silhouette. That was a Hinkle yesterday. Somebody ran across an old video from last year that when the first one got dismissed, and they thought it was dismissed. It's not been dismissed. Okay, it's still moving forward. Is dismissed. Does that mean Fleabag is no longer going to be looked into? No, she's bankruptcy still going hot and heavy. Lynette did not show up for her deposition on Wednesday. So we are looking for motions to come out on that pretty soon. I guarantee that Dennis is probably going to file a motion asking for fees because they were all there. Randy was there. Her lawyer was there. Jeremy was there on Zoom. The stenographer was there. The courtroom was scheduled. They were all there. And Lynette didn't show up. So I would imagine they're going to file for sanctions and fees. But even if they get it, she's not going to pay it.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, I got winded.
That's fine. What the plaintiff wants, the filing asks the court to uphold service of process or allow more time for service, keep the sexual cyber harassment claim alive, confirm federal jurisdiction exists, reject the request to sever or dismiss claims, reject anti-SLAPP related relief, deny Paint Chip's motion in its entirety.
And then this just sums it up. Oh, all right.
You want me to read that?
Yeah, go for it.
So the bottom line of this is the document is a formal opposition brief arguing that the lawsuit should continue. Hales maintains that Paint Chip was properly served. The Florida sexual cyber harassment law applies to manipulated sexual images, that the alleged damages exceed federal jurisdiction requirements, and that none of the grounds raised in the motion justify dismissal.
I think this summed it up very well. It gave us all the key points that we needed. I mean, I like reading Randy's stuff, but 30 pages, no. That's a lot. It's a lot. I know that Tug, I don't know if Tug got through all of it last night, but I know he got through a big majority of it. I think Randy threw in a bunch of case files, or what do you call that? Case files, where he was arguing cases that
case law
uphold what, case law, where he was arguing that it upholds what he's saying. So I think a lot of that Tug might have skipped over and just got into what Randy was actually saying. I do believe. I was listening to him, but I was also watching TV at the same time. Oh, Robin, what you got to say? Why don't they put these people in their place, put them in jail, and let it be they bad, really bad people? But the courts are the law, won't do anything. That's the question a lot of us have been asking, Robin. I know I have. I've been scratching my head on it, but I think we brought this up the other day. You remember when none of them showed up for depositions in PED 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Her not showing up in the bankruptcy deposition. What happened in one case is not necessarily, yes, they can show a pattern of what's going on, but each case has its own merits. Just because she dodged over here doesn't legally make it upholding over here. Does that make sense, Dee?
Right. I mean, because they're not privy to her pattern, because this is her quote unquote bankruptcy case, and this is the one she's brought and everything. So it's like, well, we haven't seen this pattern. Okay. So now that it's going to start, they'll start seeing the pattern, if that makes sense.
Right.
They've seen it in the other courts, but they haven't seen it here.
I have a question says, I think the courts will get it when they take everything and sell it. They will take their part. Yeah. If it doesn't get dismissed, I really don't know what's happening right now. I've got a sneaky feeling. Okay, if they dismiss the bankruptcy right now,
Mm-hmm.
what happens to Lynette?
I don't
I know
know.
she's responsible for all of her credits, creditors. I know she's responsible for paying them. She doesn't get the debt relief.
Right.
But does she get charged with anything that the courts have done up until now and have to be responsible for that?
I would think so, because it's her case. So if it gets dismissed, anything that they incurred as far as fees for the investigation and everything, I would think that would be on her. They're not going to eat those costs.
Oh, shit. I hit the wrong one. Sorry, D. I'm sorry.
You threw me away. Look at that. You're throwing me away. I see how you are.
I hit the wrong one. I was trying to get us back up here. Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry.
So,
now, what were you saying?
The bankruptcy court isn't going to eat the fees that they've already expended.
Right.
Okay? So they've got to pass that on to her, the petitioner, because she petitioned the court for this bankruptcy.
Right.
That would be like, okay, that would be like in county court. Okay. She was assessed court fees or whatever. The court's not going to eat those. They want to get paid.
Well, here's where I was going with that. Say she didn't show up for the deposition. It's obvious that her lawyer is waiting to the very last minute to mess with the courts. It almost seems to me like they're trying to get this thrown out now. And here's the reason. Well, here's the reason why. If they get it thrown out, that means nobody takes her property right now. Mm-hmm. If the bankruptcy continues, they can come in, seize the property, and auction it. You see what I'm saying? So if they get it dismissed, they're buying themselves some time, because now all these creditors have to sue her individually for the money that she owes. That could take years. But if the bankruptcy continues, she's looking at losing her stuff pretty soon, within the next 6 to 8 months, maybe.
Okay, but you got to look at this. We're almost a year. Well, okay, from the original filing. I'm going to go from the original filing. We're almost a year in. Okay.
Right.
So being almost a year in, why would you all of a sudden try your best to get out of it? Because she was told, from my understanding, that this would alleviate the lawsuits. They would discharge the lawsuits. They would get rid of them. She wouldn't be liable for them. She wouldn't be held responsible for them.
Yeah, but maybe now this is all pure speculation, guys. This is all just my opinion. But now maybe it's sinking in. Holy crap. I could lose everything I own. And then where would I be? Where, remember, they filed this to put a stay on federal court. They're trying to drag things out. Well, now it's not working out the way they thought it would. Now they're looking at losing everything that they own. Maybe, just maybe, they're trying to get it dismissed. Yes, she won't get debt relief, and then it opens her up for all these people, all these creditors to come after her, but it extends the time on her staying on that property is what I'm getting at.
All honestly, the only thing this bankruptcy did was remove 8 of the 10 defendants from Fed 2. That's all it's done.
Yeah, they talked her into it, and she's still in it.
She's still in it. See, that's the only thing this bankruptcy's done. It hasn't helped her in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's gotten worse for her, as a matter of fact. Now, as I think it was Silhouette asking the stuff about Felicia being looked into. I don't know, but
I don't either.
Judging off of what I have read in documentation, I know for a fact that they are. looking into the financial institutions like PayPal and all that stuff. They sent out subpoenas. So that's telling me that they're looking at where all the money's coming in and where it's going out. And now this is pure speculation. If they can show that 2Ls has been the one financing a lot of this, they're going to want to see the books on all of this donated money. Everything's, in my opinion, everything's going in stages, and we're just not at the open the books yet stage for Lisa.
Right. They're still wanting to open the books on LMNOP. That's their main thing, is to see what do you have coming in? How is it being separated? Is it all just, lumped together? And which it is, because she didn't have a separate account for her 501c3.
Right.
So she's just lumped all the funds together.
And Miss Tammy Coop, did you know LP is still trying to build the barn? Yes, ma'am, I did. If you guys remember correctly, I got a little.
I want to know how she's doing that, being in bankruptcy. Where are the funds coming in? How is she doing this?
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday, I got a little excited before we ended the stream because I had gotten some information, that she had posted. But yes, we're going to go over that here in just a momento. I've got to get it pulled up here real quick. But yes, she put up 2 posts yesterday. And yes, one of the posts she put up was referring to the engineers.
Who paid for the engineers? How much do engineers cost? Where did this money come from? Does she have a money tree she's not telling somebody about?
That's a good question.
Because I would like some seeds for that money tree.
There's a lot of stuff. Now, the first one that came in yesterday that I was excited about was what happened here? Okay, I don't think that's it. That might be. No, that's not it. Why is my stuff jumbled? Oh, there it is. I just didn't go high enough. All right. So I'll pull this up as soon as it pops up on the screen, and we'll share this. And we'll share
Crystal,
this.
You're right. Because what about the permits? How much are the permits again? Were they, last I heard, the last amount of a permit was $2,500? So there has to be a permit. I don't know.
But this was the first post she put up yesterday. All right. I heard I dodged my deposition again. Well, you did, Nope. The surgical appointment John had, it wasn't a surgical appointment. They keep trying to stress this surgical shit. It wasn't surgical. Appointment John had was scheduled April 28th. Now, how was it scheduled on the very same day that they scheduled the deposition? I thought it was scheduled months earlier.
But also it was brought up in open court too, right? At a status hearing. They all agreed on it, right?
Yep. And then you got... go ahead.
If there was going to be anything... Oh, wait a minute. No. I can't do it that day. That would have been brought up then too, right?
Yeah. Why did they wait 3 weeks before trying to get everything, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that? I think this was scheduled on the 28th and they didn't pop up until like the 15th of March or maybe 18th, one of the two. I can't remember when the first email started flying. But 28th for May 27th, John's birthday. We don't celebrate birthdays. So it was the perfect day for him to relax after this procedure. Shock it. Did not confirm. Really?
We got emails. The emails and in open court, and that's stated in the emails, correct?
Right. I mean, when they put in the motion on the 28th for the deposition, it wasn't challenged. And then they had open court, a creditors meeting. It was not challenged then either. Oh, so there's another lie right there. Perfect day for him to relax from this procedure. What procedure? He got shots, from what I understand. Oh, and by the way, 2L says, it ain't nobody's business. No, it's not. We're just talking about the inconsistencies of these people dodging legal depositions. Okay,
Mhm.
this is going to come back one day. I have all the hopes in the world that justice will eventually show up. It's slow, but I think it will eventually show.
Yeah.
And the reason I think that it'll show up based on their own actions. You know, the things that they are doing.
Right. Right. And okay. Does Saran Wrap not talk to his clients? And I'm talking about all of his clients. Do attorneys not talk to their clients when something comes up?
I don't know. He should
From
be talking to her for that thick
yeah,
$6,000 retainer he got.
right. Yeah, Al, you're right. So, but from watching what Jeremy put out on the members only, yeah, I don't
Oh,
understand.
Silhouette, what you got to say? LP has been able to do a bunch of things while in bankruptcy that she shouldn't be able to do. Nothing has been done about it yet, or done about it. Not filing correctly, purchasing an RV, not disclosing the flea market. Right. She's
Well,
done a lot of things.
I think all of that is going to come out in the evidentiary hearing that they have
Right.
scheduled in September for this.
Right.
Because September, I mean, I just remember January, and then now all of a sudden we're in the end of May. So
Right.
September is going to be right around the corner. So everything's going to come out in that evidentiary hearing. And she's going to have to answer for that.
You know what just popped in my head?
What's that?
Saran Wrap put in asking for a court date for June 9th to go in and talk about this protective order thing about the deposition, right?
Right. But that doesn't matter now, does it?
Well, if they do if the judge does say, okay, we're going to have a hearing on this, that opens the door for Dennis to come in and say, hey, judge, look here. I don't think people were thinking about that.
So,
I mean, it hasn't been set in stone. He just asked for the June 9th hearing. Whether they schedule or not, I don't know. But I would think that would hurt them, because then here comes Dennis. Dennis can come in, and the other lawyers can come in and say, well, hey, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. You know what I'm saying? It could wind up hurting them even worse.
Yeah, so I don't understand. I just don't understand why she's not communicating on a daily or an every other day with Saran Wrap, and why he's not communicating with her, when it needs to be communicated.
Well, see, judging from this post, she's not communicating, but you guys, we all know for a fact she communicates. Saran Wrap right there in the deposition that she did not show up to said that she had been texting him all morning.
Yes, I was, yep.
So, based on other lawyers and the way she acts with other lawyers, she contacts these people several times a day. Now, whether they contact her back, I don't know. But she does contact them. I mean, think about it. She's got, look at Tina. She has to have somebody to complain to on a daily basis. And whether it be a friend on the internet or whether it be a lawyer, she is constantly, from the minute she gets up till the minute she goes to bed, talking to people. They're going to say, how do you know that? Based on her own posts, based on the things that people have seen and said and talked about with her.
Yeah. And with her not being there Wednesday, she really doesn't know what Saran Wrap said to Randy before they went on the record.
Right.
I know what was said off the record, and I know what was put on the record because I watched the members only.
Right. Oh, what else? I'm John's driver. And another thing, did they not have Uber in Levy County? I'm John's driver, and he can't chase Harley around today. Okay, that leads us right back to the same question. She's got 90% of the people in Otter Creek, she says, love her, but no one can watch that child. And then you've got Marla Hughes. Marla Hughes lives in Bronson. That's where she had to go to court for the deposition. Marla couldn't have came up to the courthouse and watched the kid. She couldn't drop the kid off at Marla's.
I don't know. But you still, okay, we're going back to she was his driver.
Yeah.
And then couldn't chase the child around. So she's trying to get a twofer out of this.
Yep. I had given several other days. Yeah. But see, lawyers and judges and courthouses, they have set schedules. They can't just drop their shit to accommodate this nutbag. She's the individual out there that doesn't have scheduled appointments like lawyers do. Okay.
Right.
I guarantee you rescheduling, she could have went the day before, the day after for John's little procedure. But then again, John's not the one in bankruptcy. She is. So it doesn't matter to the court about her child or John. It matters that she didn't show up. What you humming about?
So,
Mr. Coop, if he's receiving Social Security disability, wouldn't he qualify for medical transport? I would think. There were people talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
Well, matter of fact, I think somebody was saying that they even have people at the courthouse. Child services would have came to the courthouse to babysit the child.
But she's isolating the child because she knows the kid's going to talk.
Could be, because the kid's almost, the kid's going to be 7 years old at the end of this year. So if she has the vocabulary that everybody claims that she has, maybe they're worried. I don't know. I had given several other days I could do the depot, but Shockett refused because Shockett's world doesn't revolve around you. Okay, he's a lawyer. Refused to schedule it on a day I was available. Oh, so it's all about her. So all the lawyers and the courts and everything has to schedule stuff around her.
No, that's not how that works. You work on a day and you resolve your issues. You say, okay, well, I'm free this day, or I'm free that day. It doesn't work that way.
According to her,
you can offer those days, but that doesn't mean that everybody else's calendar is clear that day and at that time.
But according to her,
she is not the only client. She is not the only case on a docket. So I don't know.
Refused to schedule it on a day I was available, just like all the other times.
Right there, on a day I was available. Again, come on. You can offer up a day, but it doesn't mean it's going to fit into the attorney's schedule. What if Saran Wrap had to be somewhere else that day? Okay. It's not all about you. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So she says, stop believing the lies, people. I'm still here waiting on John's procedure to be finished to take him home. Oh, his shot? Okay. All right. Vet your information, people. Jeez. I'm surprised she didn't throw a ugh in there.
We can, due to the emails that Saran Wrap included in the items that he submitted for exhibits.
Yep.
That's how it can be verified that there was a discussion. There was nobody objecting to it. So, okay.
Oh, it's rich hearing vet your shit come from these people. Some people that don't vet anything. They run with lies as truth on a daily basis. Oh, so much hurt and heartbreak because of one man's need to get rich at the expense of others and no care for who he hurts, she says. And then here comes a lot of now, I'm going to tell you right now, she is the last person that needs to be quoting stuff out of the Bible. I'm going to tell you that right now. Oh, my goodness. So we're going to jump on down here because I'm not going to read all these. I mean, you got Psalms, you got more Psalms, you got Psalms, you got John 4:7. Okay.
I just don't. I just can't with this after everything else that she has posted in the past, the language that she's used. And then she goes to this. I'm sorry.
Now, this is interesting. I'm going to stand and fight for truth and my integrity, but I'll try with all my heart to do it with God. When are you going to start fighting for truth? Because the only thing you've been fighting for up until now are excuses and lies. I have yet to see anyone on her side of the fence trying to fight for truth, because they always lie about everything they're talking about. Oh, as my sinner, and I'll remember the blessings that I have been given in all of this. My daughter's back. What? My daughter's back in my life. Oh, my grandchildren and great-grandchildren and my life and both old and new friends. Wow, that let me know every day that I'm stronger than I feel. Oh, okay.
So why couldn't one of those friends step up and take John and have Harley?
Yeah, where's the friends? Matter of fact, her daughter and her grandkids are back in her life. Why couldn't one of them watch her? Huh. Oh, I could imagine. God will set the lies and light. Okay, I thought this one was about... This one's different. Which one was this one? That's Pickles and me. Oh, I thought I had the other one too. Let me go grab that one real quick, D. Because the one about the that I was getting to about Tammy, what Tammy said about the engineers, I thought that's the one I had, but apparently not. So we'll go right over here. Okay, and this is 20 hours. So much for going to Otter Creek, working. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I thought I got this one. I guess I didn't. I'll grab it right now. We'll take a read at it. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, this is the one I meant to get, and I didn't. But, hey, that's all right. We get her now. All right, close that. Blow this up. There we go. Come back over here, here, and here. And we share this and share this. And bam! Should be on the screen now. Yeah. Okay, you want to read this one? Or is it too small for you?
I can get it. So much going on here in Otter Creek and working with an engineer to get the house on track, and it's so quiet now, except for the crap across the street. So she's working with an engineer. Is she talking to an engineer, or has she retained an engineer to go over blueprints? Because last time I remember, didn't somebody that she reached out to, didn't they tell her that it would have to be, they couldn't do it because there's too much that had to be done or something to that effect? It wasn't. I don't remember.
I don't remember. They made it sound like a big, huge ordeal. The concrete slab is there. The barn frame is there. They just need to get the permits. I don't see how hard it is. But if you remember correctly, I guess some laws had changed. So the original blueprints that she had for the barn were not up to hurricane code. So that made them it made them worthless. She has to get somebody to come in, but I don't know why she would have to have engineers come in. Wouldn't she just have to go back to the original designer of the barn and just get updated blueprints?
Yeah, updated blueprints. Yeah.
I mean, why would you have to speak with an engineer? I don't understand that.
Because in order for her to get the permit, she needed the engineer, and that was going to cost $2,500, and the blueprints needed to be updated. So I guess like it's all rolled into one. I don't know.
I don't know, because I mean, she's got to get the original blueprint for the actual house itself, and then each thing that has to be done, she has to get a permit for: electrical, plumbing, framing, drywall. She has to get permits for each one of those things on top of the actual blueprint for the house.
Right.
Because I don't think it was the blueprints that ended up costing them the permit, because the blueprints apparently were outdated, and they had to have new blueprints based on the new hurricane laws in Florida. And I think that's what caused everything to go downhill.
Okay. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at her old posts that she put up there when she was throwing out receipts about everything. I would have to go back and look at those. It's funny. He claims we do all these things to him. Yet when we walk out and he sees us, he yells over to us, or he says hate-filled lies on his channel.
Okay, let me ask a question here, boys and girls, and you do, D. Don't they have cameras?
Mm-hmm.
If he is doing all of this that she's claiming, she's not talking about Jeremy, she's talking about Travis. So if Travis is actually doing this, we know for a fact they've got cameras. Why don't they have any proof of it?
I don't know.
It falls in that basket along with all of, where's the proof of the 40 some odd calls to CPS? Okay, where's the proof that somebody come and doo-dooed in a hole that a steak was in? Where's all of your proof? Where's all the proof that people are giving you unalive threats through emails and text messages and voicemails? Nothing has ever been shown, ever. If I was going to make claims that somebody was harassing me, I would show the proof that they were harassing me. Mm-hmm. Would you not?
I would. Okay. It's so sad we can't just have total peace here and peace of mind and heart. But time to get a lot done here. We have a bunch of those can holders from the store shelves. The ones you put the cans in and they roll down as you take a can away. That crook is selling. There are way too many for my pantry, and they are so nice to have. These hold spices or cans of different sizes. I'll post a couple of pics later, but you know what I'm talking about. And you're interested, just let us know. Oh, the water continuously tests above 300, so not at all drinkable. So please buy bottles or something. It's just not safe. Ugh.
There's the ugh. Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, this is my thoughts on it. These are the type people that walk out. They'll see a big giant hornet's nest up in the tree. They'll walk out there. They'll smack that hornet's nest with a big old stick. And then when them hornets sting the crap out of them, they run to the hospital and they blame the hornets for stinging them. Okay. It makes no sense to me, but hey, they're all professional victims. Every one of them, you know, they do no wrong. Everybody else is doing shit wrong to them. That's all they do. They go out, they create havoc, and then they want to claim victim when somebody retaliates or when somebody says something back to them. I don't know what's going on between 2Ls and her neighbor, but I can tell you just from what I've seen with her on social media, I guarantee she's probably been the instigator in most of it. She's the type that will go out, she'll smack you in the head in the street, and then she'll step back on her property and hit record while you come after her. Anyway, that's the type of person I think she is. That's my opinion.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So she's back to posting now.
Uh-huh. And let's see. She put something else up. What is this one? Oh, another her posting gospel again.
I'm good with
that was that was. Well, let me go over to the actual page. So much is going on. Oh, this was 21 hours ago. Otter Creek engineer. Okay, that's the one I just got. All right. Let's go check out the Pickles and Me YouTube channel. She's been posting a lot over there that she's not posting on the other one. Like this one's 2 days ago. I heard, yep. Okay, there's nothing new over here.
Right.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Boy, she keeps her comment boards clean. She's got every comment deleted. She don't let nobody talk about nothing over here.
So why is she putting anything out if nobody can comment on it?
Yep. Well, see, I don't understand that. You have people that are believing her and her story. How are they supposed to ask questions and support you if you're not allowing people to comment on your posts?
Because she doesn't want that. You know, she just wants to be the one to put things out there, but she doesn't want to hear anybody comment on it. That's the reason why the comments are there, so people can comment on it. And if they wanted to offer help, they can't because she goes and she deletes everything.
Look at Harry. Oh, is Lynette going to have the poop examined that was in the hole? I don't have any idea. Oh, Jerry, what you got to say? The courts make no sense to me. Well, guys, you got to remember, think about this for a second. I've talked to Tug about this a couple of times, and I've talked to Dee and a lot of people about this. I've never seen anything like this. You got thumbnail case. You got the Trespass 5. You got the Grangers. You got Fed 1, Fed 2. You got the Ohio. You got Jeremy suing Lynette and Lynette and Bubbles. You got where they're suing Flips. Do you guys realize how much this stuff that we got to try and remember? It's a lot.
Yeah, don't forget the Dan Owens case too.
Yeah, Dan Owens. I mean, this thing has got so many tiers to it, trying to keep track of all of the individuals involved, all of the paperwork, all the motions, all the posts.
Gosh,
it's absolutely insane.
It is.
There's a lot to keep up with. All right, guys and gals, you guys and gals ready to watch this this little video?
Hey, Randy wants to know if you can see him in chat.
Yeah, I see you, Randy. What's up? Did I miss you earlier? Can you see me in chat? Just wondering. Yeah, I can see you, my friend. Today I've been running my mouth a lot. I apologize for that, D.
You're fine. You're fine.
I've been missing a lot of comments because we were trying to get through quite a bit in a short amount of time, which, hey, look, we only got like 30 minutes left, but we can go over a little bit. I forgot about the Lynette posts. Coop, can you see me? I see you now. All right. What do you got to say, Al? Have to run here. Got told an emergency. Everyone have a great day. Okay, Al, I hope everything's all right, my man.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Here, we'll get you this one here. This is Mama Bear Leah.
Why don't the courts see the overall manipulation of these people? Because there's different courts involved. The courts don't talk to each other. If they did, they would see it.
Well, think about it for a minute, guys. We have yet to get to a discovery stage. I mean, discoveries when everything starts falling into place and the courts start seeing everything that's going on. up until now, there's just been a bunch of motions going back and forth. The judge, Jeremy hasn't even been before the judge yet. I mean, you got to be able to show your case to the judge at one point in time. That's why it blew my mind when Bolito recommended that Fed 2 be dismissed without even getting to that stage.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Oh, what you got to say, Jerry Coop? I can't keep up either. That's why I listen to you and D. Well, if it weren't for all of us, this takes all of us, not just the creators that are up on panel, but it takes everybody in the chat too. Everybody helps keep this kind of together. You know what I mean, D?
Mm-hmm. And we do have a lot of people that keep a watchful eye on Pacer. And if something comes in, they definitely grab it. I don't have access to Pacer. If I did, I would grab it, but I don't have access to it. I know you do, Coop.
Yeah.
So if you see something before Al or anybody else that's keeping an eye on it, you grab it.
Exactly. So. I mean, I know how to use Pacer. It's a complicated little deal, but I can find them. It just takes me a bit because I don't use it every day. But Al's got a bunch of little secret tips. Him and Polymopicus and a few others, they've got their little secret tricks that they use where they can go right into that stuff. What in the world is that?
We got dropped for some reason. It said lost connection.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm still here. All right. But yeah, it takes, when they talk about a village, it takes a village on this stuff. There's no way one person could cover this entire story. There is absolutely no way. I mean, you've got Tug and Megan, you've got Shizzy, you got us, and you got a lot of other people like Venom and Rosalind, and then you got there's some other channels out there like Dose Reality. There's a lot of people, Tizzy to Bounce. I will agree with Tug on this. You and I can be sitting here talking about a subject and have our opinions on it. And then Tug can talk about the same opinion or the same subject. He might have different opinions than we do, and when you put all these opinions together, you come up with different ways to look at things.
Right.
But anyway, you ready to get to playing this stuff about, what's her name?
Mackenzie.
You guys ready to listen to Mackenzie? Matter of fact, I'm going to just make sure I'm going to stop this and then I'm going to start it back up again because I don't know if it was still had I don't know if it still had the speakers turned on for it, but now it does. All right. So here we go, boys and girls. All right. Oh, shit. Come on. There we go. All right. You ready? Let's dive into some Mackenzie stuff. And thank you guys in the chat, each and every one of you that help us every single day.
Life shouldn't be like this. Diamond Davion should be here. She belongs in prison.
Mackenzie Shirilla, the teenager convicted of intentionally driving her car into a brick wall, killing 2 young men. She's serving her sentence at the Women's Reformatory out in Ohio, while her family and her legal team fight to get her out. And this is one angle we haven't really discussed yet. Does she have a chance? Does she have a legal leg to stand on, especially after the Netflix documentary came out? Well, I'll tell you what, we have a powerhouse criminal defense attorney coming on to break down Shirilla's appeal arguments and what we can expect next. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Everybody loves a self-made success story, but John Morgan says that is not how real life works. The great John Morgan, everybody. In his new book, Life is Luck, the founder of Morgan & Morgan gets real about the role that luck plays in success and how to recognize opportunity when it shows up.
And that seed was just luck.
What?
Isn't Morgan & Morgan everywhere now? Doesn't he have offices all over the place now?
Oh, yeah. He's all over the United States. But we're going to skip right through that. I didn't know that was there.
Stunt.
She's sentenced on count 2, the murder of Davion Flanagan, 15 years to life. She's sentenced on count 1, the murder of Dominic Russo, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other with credit for time served.
The judge determined, since this was a bench trial, the case was tried before a judge, not a jury, so a judge determined that Ohio prosecutors had proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Mackenzie Shirilla had driven her car into the side of a brick building on purpose. Her longtime on-again, off-again boyfriend Dominic Russo and their friend Davion Flanagan were killed. Prosecution's evidence at trial portrayed Shirilla as a self-centered, bratty teen who couldn't handle Dominic's decision to basically end things. And in the early morning hours of July 31st, 2022, the 17-year-old mashed down the accelerator, never tried to brake, this is according to investigative reports, sailing over a curb, through a business sign, and into a brick wall. And Shirilla has insisted ever since then that she has no memory whatsoever of the crash or the minutes leading up to it. She and her family have suggested that she has a diagnosis of POTS, a medical condition that can cause dizziness and fainting. They claim Shirilla must have blacked out, which is why she drove off the road. Shirilla's mother testified at the bench trial that she'd seen her daughter exhibit symptoms of POTS, but the defense never called a medical expert to testify that Shirilla actually has the condition. At least one former inmate who claimed to have interacted with Shirilla behind bars said she never noticed any medical problems like this. There was evidence of drug use found at the scene, right? The marijuana vape pen, the mushrooms. But toxicology testing on Shirilla showed just trace amounts of THC in her system. She hadn't been drinking. She hadn't been using other drugs before the crash. And this is despite multiple posts on her social media profile showing her seemingly drinking often while allegedly smoking marijuana or otherwise acting recklessly. Now, Shirilla was arrested several months after this tragedy in November of 2022. And at her trial the next year, the following year, the judge found her guilty of 4 counts of murder, 4 counts of felonious assault, 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide, 1 count of drug possession, and 1 count of possessing criminal tools. But Shirilla and her family have continued to profess her innocence, including in her first on-camera interview in a new documentary on Netflix called The Crash. And Shirilla told the documentary's producers, "I'm not a monster. I'm not saying I'm innocent. I was a driver of a tragedy, but I'm not a murderer." And when asked about her relationship with Dominic, Shirilla said, "We would have probably been married by now. We argued, we got back together, we broke up, we got back together. It was rocky, but it was good. We were in love." And it turns out this issue of whether Mackenzie Shirilla and Dominic were in a good place relationship-wise, that is an issue that was a part of Shirilla's appeals. And so to talk about her arguments and what is going on, the appeals court, right, the Supreme Court, I want to welcome back on here on Sidebar. So happy to have her, criminal defense attorney Diane Menashe. Diane, thank you so much for taking the time. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
So I understand you didn't watch, the complete documentary, but you've seen a bunch of parts of it. I think I just, generally speaking, have to ask you, because one of the things that was noted is at the end of the documentary, it seems her attorney was in the room with her, was with Mackenzie as she's doing this interview. Like, would you recommend a client sit down and do this as, the appellate arguments are happening? Yes, she's been defeated, and we're going to talk about why and what's next. But would you ever recommend for a client to do an interview like this from behind bars for a documentary?
I think it goes one step further. Not only would I not recommend, but I would stop them from doing it, right? Because of exactly what's happened.
This could come back to bite her in the butt.
Yes. I was just getting ready to say, remember the Karen Reed trial. They tried to use her interview in the second trial against her, or the first trial against her. So that right there, anytime that she would try to get an appeals court to take up the case, all of that interview can come into play, and it will show her exactly. She didn't seem remorseful. She didn't shed a tear. She wasn't upset. She just wasn't.
Now, I think it was either Nanny or it was Sharon yesterday said that she's already went through 2 appeals. So she's got 1 left. And all of this crap could be brought up during her appeal, right?
Exactly.
So why in the world would anybody jeopardize a 3rd appeal just because they want a little bit of attention? It's crazy.
I don't understand it. I wouldn't. And she's exactly right. This attorney is exactly right. You wouldn't want to put your client in a position to where it can be used against you.
I wonder if they know Lynette.
I don't know. But her last ditch effort is if she uses that she had her defense was not a good defense. That's going to have to be her final argument for appeal. Is
I'm thinking
I didn't have proper representation. They didn't do it right, or something to that effect.
I'm thinking that her lawyer was basically lied to, like we know some other lawyers have been lied to, and when he got into court and saw what all they had,
right?
I think he was just overwhelmed, because I mean, did you see some of the facial expressions on that dude?
Yes, he was watching the judge's reaction, and then he was watching the witness on the stand. He kept going back and forth, back and forth. His eye movements, his eyes were on the judge and her expressions and what she was thinking. He was trying to size her up, how she was going to go with this. And from the answers from the witness, he was like, oh crap, we're sunk.
Oh, you talking about when her mom was up on the stand?
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't even cross-examine her.
Nope. He was like, yeah, we're done.
Oh, Valor says, MrCoop, I have a couple emails I'm going to forward you. Oh, okay, by the way, Valor, I did email you the other day. I hope you got it. If you didn't, let me know.
I mean, the optics are just so bad. And particularly, as you said, while she's appealing her case and trying to find relief in some way, certainly giving an interview is just a really bad idea.
Because anything she says could be used against her in the appellate arguments or in a future trial?
Well, for sure. And, if they were to get the relief they're seeking, which is ultimately a new trial, everything she's saying could be used against her. I also just think, in terms of, which is really the main concern, is obviously anything could be used against her.
So I want to go through some of this with you and get your expertise and why this has happened. I want to go back to how this could also affect her moving forward, because after Sherilla was convicted and she was sentenced to life in prison with her first parole eligibility after 15 years, her legal team turned to the appeal process. And so to give an example, she filed an appeal with the 8th District Court of Appeals in Ohio. And in its response, to give everybody an idea, for example, the court announced that the judgment was affirmed. So meaning the appeals court essentially didn't find Mackenzie Sherilla's arguments to be strong enough for a reversal. And just to go through some of this and get your insight on it, so from her direct appeal, quote, the juvenile court erred when it concluded that the state presented sufficient credible evidence to demonstrate probable cause to believe that Sherilla purposely and or knowingly caused the deaths of DR and DF. So essentially my understanding was the argument would be this case should have never left the juvenile court system, that there wasn't enough solid evidence or credible evidence. Sherilla was 17 when the crash happened and reportedly turned 18 while recovering in the hospital. And in its response,
One day. She turned 18 one day. So legally she was I say she's an adult. I don't think they messed up on that. What do you think, Dee?
No, I don't think they did either. You have to remember that it took 3 months for the investigation, right? It took 3 months from the time of the accident to when she was arrested. So there has to be an investigation. They just can't go and say, oh, well, you don't have your investigation done in 24 hours. The trial is flawed. Yeah. No. It doesn't work that way.
Well, they took 3 months on this investigation, but from what I understand, there's supposedly been an investigation going on for way more than 3 months, and nobody's heard a word on that. Never mind.
The trial court said, at this stage of the proceedings, the state was not required to prove the truth of the allegations against Sherilla. It had to present credible evidence showing probable cause supporting each element of the offenses charged. Based on the evidence presented at the probable cause hearing, we disagree with Sherilla that the state failed to meet this burden. Now, Diane, as far as what I've just told you, do I have it right about here? And do I have it right about what's going on here? And talk to me about the decision to move a case from juvenile court to adult court.
Well, you do have it right. I will say, though, in Ohio, murder and aggravated murder are mandatory bind-over cases. So, and they're not discretionary. And the only thing in those mandatory bind-over cases that's necessary is the state, as you just said, put forth enough to meet a probable cause burden. The judge in those instances in juvenile court, that hearing is literally just the four corners of, do they have probable cause? And I think we're just really good to remind everyone is certainly that's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It's just sufficient evidence that a crime has been committed. And it's really just kind of a check and balance in a mandatory bind over situation. So the state presented that mandatory bind over, it was sent up to the adult court, and it's as simple as that.
And talk to me.
Now, D, I'm taking it that this was in state court. This is in criminal court, right?
It started off in juvenile court because like he said, or she said, the prosecutor had to present that there was probable cause.
Okay, this started out in juvenile court, then it went to adult court, which is still criminal, right?
Right. And he fell down. Okay.
Connect there. I'm reconnected.
Okay.
Oh, now I'm back. All right. It started out. It was in criminal court, was it not?
Right.
All right. With it being in criminal court, that's a whole lot different than federal court, like what Jeremy's going through, right?
Yes.
So I would say judges are different when it comes to state versus federal. What I'm getting at is you would take Bolito, for instance. Could you imagine Bolito ruling over this case?
No.
That's what I'm getting at. So the judge that was over this case is kind of, how am I trying to say this? They specialize in a different kind of law than what Bolito does, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. But they're well versed across the board. I you know what I'm saying? Because they're well versed in federal and in civil and in criminal and in everything in between, family law, because they're not going to stay in that courtroom because they do rotate out the judges. Like traffic court will go here. So they're well versed in it. But if that's their main thing, if they are in criminal, they know criminal law. So they know how to apply the law.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Because you take, for instance, you've got, say, for instance, okay, they brought in Bolito and replaced this judge. Would he be kind of lost in that? Or
yeah,
would he be? That's where I was going with it.
Maybe.
Anywho, you ready, Freddie?
Mm-hmm.
About this second one because it's kind of related. The second assignment of error. The state failed to introduce sufficient evidence to sustain the convictions in violation of Shrilla's right to due process of law, as guaranteed by Article 1, Section 10 of the Ohio Constitution, as well as the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Basically, before we go further, Diane, what does that mean? What are they saying there?
Well, I think there's an interesting issue is that the state at the juvenile level presented evidence for both aggravated murder and murder. And as I understand it, there wasn't probable cause found to support aggravated murder, which is prior calculation and design. But the trial court judge at the juvenile level found certainly that there was evidence to support purpose or intent. And that's why ultimately when it was bound over, they ended up charging her with the 2 counts of murder and all of the other felonious assaults, et cetera. So I think really what they're doing in that argument, Jesse, is they're trying to tee up a constitutional issue. Because I know, as you know, the Supreme Court of Ohio or any state will only take a case if there's a constitutional issue at play. So really, they were just teeing it up in the 8th District, trying to get into the Supreme Court.
And the idea is that if there's insufficient evidence, it violates a client's constitutional rights, due process rights?
That's exactly right. And then if you lose at the direct appeal level, the hope is that you preserve that constitutional issue, and the Supreme Court will then.
All right, Rick. I hope you're all right, my man. I hope you didn't hurt anything. See ya when we see you, my brother. Hope everything comes out all right.
Take it.
Interesting. So again, the court said, the appeals court wrote, this evidence was sufficient for the fact finder to conclude beyond a reasonable doubt that Shrilla crashed the vehicle purposely intending to kill Flanagan and Russo. We therefore overrule Shrilla's second assignment of error. And to me, it seems the answer would be yes, right? I mean, when you look at this case and you think about the evidence that was presented, what was it for you? Was it the accelerator? Was it the surveillance footage? I think the accelerator of the car not braking, it was, pretty strong.
And I think between the black box, right, which is the accelerator, certainly the turn of the vehicle, which is, that footage, and the accelerator, and I think not just the accelerator, but critically never braking, right? So that is really huge. And I think obviously she made some statements afterwards that were clearly problematic for her. But I think just the acceleration, it's a 35. The upward speed was noted to be 69. And then we know that she's not under, the influence of alcohol. I know they raised that POTS issue, but as I read it, they pulled her BMV record. She'd never raised any medical issues before. She had no other medical, records to support that diagnosis. So I think the evidence showed she was real clear-headed when she put that accelerator on and didn't brake.
Now, that's what I find interesting, D. They tried to put that defense in that she has POTS.
Right.
But yet, like this lady said, they had no supporting medical, evidence to support it.
Exactly. And that's if the defense attorney should have double checked, triple checked, and fine tooth combed through it to see if there was any evidence and presented it and brought a physician in or get a physician's statement to enter into evidence. But none of that was done. So he knew that he had the wool pulled over his eyes.
Oh, most definitely.
So I don't know. Crazy.
All right, let's go.
This next one's interesting. It's the next alleged error put forward by the defense. Sharilla's convictions are against the manifest weight of the evidence. The court wrote, reversal on manifest weight grounds is reserved for the exceptional case in which the evidence weighs heavily against the conviction. And they say this case is not that. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised based on the conversation we're having. My other question would be, like, what's an example of where that would work? Like, what's a law school example of where it's a reversal on manifest weight grounds? Like, what is something where you're like, there's no way the jury or the judge should have found someone guilty?
Where I tend to see the manifest weight argument actually really have some teeth is in self-defense cases.
Ooh,
where, where it's like, and I have a really viable self-defense case right now, and I could say this truly, I think that the manifest weight there could really be applicable. But where they're going at here is they're claiming there just isn't circumstantial evidence to show intent. And I think we've already talked about it, the accelerator, the lack of braking, her statements, the history of the relationship. Circumstantially, right, the state certainly seemed to put forth a case that she had intent to kill. Purpose.
You know what, D? This lawyer here, I don't think I'd want to go up against her. She looks like she would be a demon in court, boy.
This one's interesting. This one's different. Assignment of error 4 goes to something we've talked about a lot here on Sidebar. 404B evidence. So evidence of apparent wrongdoing by a defendant, not necessarily directly committed to the crime. We talked about this a lot in the Alec Murdaugh case, right? Financial crimes evidence can prejudice the jury character, right? So Sharilla's defense argues the trial court erred by permitting the state to introduce character and or other acts evidence during its case in chief, thereby depriving Sharilla of her right to a fair trial in violation of the United States and Ohio constitutions. In its response, the court points out that the trial judge already settled this issue. Quote, the state had filed both a notice of intent to use other acts evidence under evidence rule 404B, as well as a motion to introduce other acts evidence, including evidence that on July 17, 2022, Sharilla was driving on Interstate 71 with Russo as a passenger when she threatened to immediately crash the vehicle during a disagreement between them, and that she was observed hitting him with her hands during that incident. Also, the notice indicated that the state intended to introduce evidence that on occasion in July 2022, Sharilla came to Russo's home, and when he refused to allow her entry, angrily yelled at him, beat on the door, and threatened him. Now, by the way, we got our hands on these phone calls that were apparently recorded by Dominic, in which he and Mackenzie Sharilla can be heard arguing and threatening one another. Just want to play that for you.
Why would I just let you in the house if you break up with me and you're threatening to break my... Like, you're threatening to key my car, threatening to break the doors. I will key your car if you do not let me in the house. You're going to key my car if I don't... If you don't let me in the house, yes. What the Yeah, I know, so just let me in the house. No, like, why can't you just be, like calm at least for a second? I can feel comfortable letting you in the house. I am calm. I don't think you get to decide that with your weird... Like, you really threatening to...
She's making threats towards him, and he doesn't have the right to keep her out.
That's crazy, and she's like, I guess she thinks she owns the house. Okay.
What about her car? You don't let me in, I'm gonna key your car. Go ahead, key my car and find out what happens. No, I'll spend the night in jail. Yeah, go ahead, key the car. Or, well,
see,
no, she's got mommy and daddy to pay for it, so she don't care.
well, see, right then and there, he should have called 911 and had them come and remove her from the property.
Yep.
Key my car. And what else she threatening?
Tom, I'm going to give you one last chance to open the door. I'm going to leave and do what I said I was going to do.
Now, the appeals court response continues. The state stated that this evidence was not being offered to show Sharilla's bad character, but rather to prove Sharilla's motive, intent, knowledge, absence of mistake or accident, to provide context with respect to Sharilla's relationship with Russo. Specifically, the state argued as follows. Sharilla's past threats and aggression toward Russo provide an important perspective of how Sharilla responds in situations where she is displeased or in disagreement with others. Further, the evidence shows that Sharilla was aware of her ability to cause harm to the victims, especially by means of her own vehicle, and how she could use the power of threats and control to ultimately reach the outcome she desired. Diane, does this decision make sense? Because on one hand, you can understand, right? Like, you don't want to just throw everything at the defense. You just defended that you may be highly prejudicial, that's not related. You know, the jury's going to say, well, if they acted this way in this occasion, she must have done this here. But why is this different? Or maybe you disagree. I don't know. You tell me.
I think it actually meets the exception and was properly let in. I would just say that absence of mistake is really huge, right? And not only that, Jesse, the acts that were allowed in under 404 were really timely, right? They were very close in time to the ultimate incident itself, which is really an important factor that courts weigh into. You know, it's one thing to be introducing bad acts that happened years prior, but this was like the same 30 days. So really significant there. I also think, though, that issue that was raised on appeal, this was a bench trial. And literally a judge is also an attorney, right? They're trained in law and they're meant to, there's an assumption that they will know how to appropriately weigh that type of other acts evidence.
D, you notice how they're constantly showing this one little clip over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
The one with her sitting there.
Look at the attorney's face.
Exactly. I mean, this is probably the 5th or 6th, maybe even more than that time I've seen this one particular clip. Huh.
And not use it to prejudice.
He's questioning himself like, dang, maybe we should have had a jury trial and not a bench trial. Dang, maybe we should have had more witnesses. Dang, you know, he's having regrets right now.
Now, I think somebody in the chat the other day when we were talking about this said he's like one of the top attorneys up there for this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can just see, man, I screwed up taking this written all over his face.
Yep.
As the defendant in a certain way. I would say, and you know, when I've been reading up on this case, I mean, what strikes me is like, why was this not tried to a jury? I mean, some people would say because the facts are so bad, but Jesse, you and I know, you know, you need one, right? And certainly, you know, with a judge, it's only one. And so that's a really interesting issue. But I think the 404B that should have been let in, I think any judge would let it in. And moreover, like, it's a bench trial. So raising it on appeal, it has even less teeth, I think.
Let me ask you about that. I don't know if it's the cynical version of me, but it is interesting to think about. Whenever we talk about what evidence can or cannot be let in, if you talk about the evidence that's not allowed in, the jury, unless they were improperly reading news articles about it, they will have no idea about this evidence. They should know nothing about it. The judge knows everything. The judge knows every piece of evidence that wasn't allowed in. Are we, generally speaking, confident that a judge is going to put that to the side and said, I'm putting my judge cap on to determine whether or not this evidence is admissible, and if it's not admissible, I'm going to put it to the side. And then when it comes time to make the decision, I'm never even going to think about that once again because, you know, on one hand you say, listen, that's their responsibility. They know what's allowed in. They know what to consider more than maybe an average everyday person. But someone might look at that and say, I'm skeptical.
So I'm going to answer this in an indirect way by saying in 29 years, I've never tried a case to the bench.
There you go. Okay. There you go. People will make of it what they will. With that.
It is literally true. I'm on the cusp of it in this self-defense case that I have. And it's like, it feels so jarring to me, but I've never tried a case in 29 years truly to the bench.
And to be clear, I'm not making any accusations about this judge or any judge whatsoever. It's just, I know people will have that question. That's all. That's as we talk about.
For sure. And of course, and I'm going to say this. I mean, we want the system to work in that way, right? We want, of course, judges to be able to sort of narrow the evidence and understand the law and apply it appropriately. And one would say, well, that's why you try it to the court and not to a jury. Right. But I think you raise a really good point, right? That evidence is kept from jurors, that judges know that evidence is there, even if it's excluded. And we're all humans, right? There's that expression, once the bell is rung, you can't unring it.
Yeah.
That's applicable in this situation.
So I want to go back to something. So I mentioned that the appeals process has been going on for several years. There's been different avenues. It can get a little confusing, but there was this other attempt. So our understanding was another appeal was filed after Mackenzie Shirilla sought post-conviction relief. Our understanding is it was denied because she missed the filing deadline. So the court's decision came down this past March, and it read, quote, during that direct appeal, the trial transcripts were filed on...
Did Saran Wrap write that for her?
I don't know. I don't know. Did he file it? Did he file it? Did he miss it by a day?
Missed the deadline?
On October 23rd, 2023. Transcripts from the juvenile court bind-over proceedings were filed later on December 15th, 2023. On October 24th, 2024, Shirilla filed a petition for post-conviction relief. In the direct appeal, the clerk docketed the criminal trial transcripts as filed on October 24th, 2023. The trial court dismissed the petition as time-barred on May 1st, 2025, concluding it was filed 1 day past the 365-day jurisdictional deadline. And the court then explains, quote, the trial transcript trigger. She contends that the trial court erred when it concluded that the petition to vacate or set aside convictions were untimely. Shirilla argues the 365-day clock did not begin until December 15th, 2023. When the juvenile bindovers transcripts were filed, the state conversely maintains that the clock was triggered on October 24th, 2023, the date the clerk noted on the docket that the trial transcripts from the criminal trial were filed. The state argues that a trial is a proceeding to determine guilt or innocence, and therefore a juvenile probable cause hearing does not fall under the statutory definition of a trial. So, Diane, that's very confusing. Although to say, I mean, I think her legal team tried to argue that it was, 2024 was a leap year, maybe there's an exception, but talk to me about why this is so important, this deadline, how it gets you into the right court, how it could affect post-conviction relief. Like, what should we be knowing about this?
I think there's some irony here, if I can, because the issue normally raised in post-conviction is ineffective assistance of counsel of the trial lawyer. And here's the truth. There's those of us that try cases and those of us that do appellate work, and we're usually not the same, kind of body of lawyers. And if you're an appellate lawyer, like the calendar and counting the days, it's like that should be your wheelhouse. And so I'll just say, you know what, they missed a deadline. I actually went down the rabbit hole in their argument on the briefing and why they didn't miss the deadline. And really, it was just a calculation error. They just missed it. And when you miss it, you miss it. I mean, it is a hard and fast rule, and there's no ability to do a motion to extend or, et cetera. So she doesn't have any potential of post-conviction relief.
After the appeals court denied the appeal, the Shirillas took the case, our understanding, to the state Supreme Court. I think this was like their second time doing so. They had earlier appealed to the court. The judges declined to review the case. There is this latest request for review, and this is where Mackenzie Shirilla's defense, they brought up another issue that they had with her case. And it says, quote, the primary issue at trial concerned Shirilla's intent. In support of its theory, the state introduced testimony and evidence suggesting that Shirilla was motivated by her rocky and tumultuous relationship with DR. To that end, the state elicited testimony about the July 17th incident, as well as testimony from DR's relatives about Shirilla and DR's sometimes tumultuous relationship. Apart from these prior unrelated incidents, however, the state failed to introduce any evidence suggesting that Shirilla harbored animosity or ill will towards DR at the time of the accident, that one could reasonably conclude that she purposely crashed the vehicle with the intent of killing DR and DF. To the contrary, the evidence overwhelmingly established that Shirilla and DR were getting along well and appeared to be in love in the days and hours leading up to the incident. Now, police interviews...
But didn't he break up with her that day? In the car?
I don't know if... Well, there's no audio of that. I do know that all three of them left the house, and there was... movement in the steering where somebody was grabbing the steering wheel. There could have been an argument inside of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So,
I think the passenger, he was just an afterthought. She didn't even think about him. She was more interested in him, the boyfriend.
Yeah.
With teens who knew Shirilla and Dominic, they reveal a little bit more about their relationship.
Kenzie, I know from a lot of people telling me, and even her closest friends, that Kenzie and Dom used to fight all the time. Okay. And she used to road rage all the time. I remember someone told me that she dropped Dom off on the highway because they got in a fight. So she was just known for being that kind of girl in high school and as well out of high school.
Anger issues?
Yeah, they called her baby Kush.
Yeah, what's that? Just because she smokes so much weed?
She smokes weed, and there's pictures on her Instagram, but I'm sure she took it down now.
Yeah,
we've her in cars smoking weed.
Yeah, we had those. So she road raged, even kicked him out on the highway once?
Yeah. She just drove him crazy, and we just don't know how he dealt with it.
Was anything suspicious about their behavior?
Not at all. Not at all. They seem completely normal.
Now, Diane, here's where I'm looking at this. I'm curious your thoughts. There is a difference between intent and motive, right? Like if you can establish, and like you don't even have to establish the why of why she, drove the car at 100 miles per hour. If you can say it never broke, she wasn't under intoxication, that's all you need for intent. Like are they kind of mixing a little bit between intent and motive, or am I wrong?
You're spot on. And in fact, the state has to prove the elements of each offense beyond a reasonable doubt. And in no statute in Ohio is motive an element. So their argument is that motive piece. Well, it's not an element of any of the offenses for which she's charged. So it's totally irrelevant. And I think you've nailed it with the intent, right? The speed, the lack of braking. There were also, as you said, some friends that testified that certainly, gave evidence that there was real friction in the relationship. I also think, just Jesse, if you and I are in a relationship hypothetically, and one of us is recording our arguments, that also says, there are issues there, so much so that I'm recording an argument with us.
There's the word intent, which came up in the documentary. I don't know if you saw this, but at the end, so she's accused of speaking to her lawyer at the end of the interview, and she goes back and she goes, I really want to be big on the no intent. The no intent. She said that. That was very key, right? And by the way, just a few days ago on May 16th, the state filed its own memorandum arguing that there's no need for the state's highest court to take up the case. We haven't got word on the Supreme Court. But when I think about that, her saying that in the documentary, I go back to my initial question. Does that affect what the Supreme Court may do here? Her saying, and I don't know, I mean, there's been mixed feelings about the documentary, but you tell me, her really stressing the no intent in the documentary.
I don't think she should have done that documentary. What do you think, Dee?
I don't think she should have either, because it just makes her look even, I don't know if you can, even more guilty, because she's doing the interview. And when he said the word no intent, she repeated the word, the phrase no intent. She was coached into saying that because they were probably in the process of these appeals when she did this.
Now, just to let everybody know, I don't know what happened. It must have been whenever I lost connection, but for some reason, the only chat we're getting right now is just from YouTube. All of my chat on Rumble is not coming through. So
wow.
I know there's people still on Rumble. Okay, I just went over there and checked it. So yeah, there is that. And so, guys and gals, if you don't hear any sound, just refresh your stuff over there, because I know Rumble's been having some issues here lately.
Yeah.
To where all of a sudden they'll lose sound. So if you guys are hearing me, just ever so often refresh your stuff over there. Same with YouTube, guys. Just every so often, just refresh your screen, because I know listening to Tug right out of the gate last night, I had no sound on YouTube. And I had to refresh in order to get it. So it never hurts to refresh during the stream anyway. All right.
Can that be a factor?
I think it goes back to what we were talking about just a few minutes ago of do judges really set aside, right? Things that they should under the law. And here's the thing. There's no question that if there's a real potential that one of the Supreme Court justices that's going to hear or rather read the briefing, or their law clerks, right, who are the ones who are deciding whether to take a case or not ultimately, or certainly are the ones writing the opinions, they'll see the news, right? The documentary is all over. And so I just think there is that human element of, one of the law clerks for a Supreme Court justice could hear and know about the case just from the media perspective, which, given the feedback on the documentary, I think is not helpful to her. And Jesse, that comment at the end, and I did see the clip, I mean, it comes across as so manufactured and not authentic when she says that about intent. I mean, it was a little tragic.
Goes back to the question, was it advisable to, do that? Look, I wanted your perspective on something else. So in the meantime, you have the families of Dom and Davion. They're dealing with their own thoughts, their own feelings surrounding the appeals, the drama that's associated with this documentary. I had a chance to speak with Christine Russo, Dominic's older sister. She started her own podcast. It's called Big Sister Unhinged. This was in part to help her just process everything that's happened. But she said that the love and support the family is receiving means the world to her.
My family is very thankful for sticking up for Dom. It's just been overall a better experience. And the only other option that I had was to sit back and watch everybody else online talk about my brother and talk out the side of their neck, act like they know facts, or, that they're all medical experts or mechanical experts. And, it was either sit back and watch the internet run wild with misinformation, or do this.
So did you watch the whole documentary? Did you sit through did you watch all of it?
I got to preview it. The producers flew in from the UK in January, and I previewed it then, helped make some edits. They took out some things that were not nice things that were said about my brother from certain people in the cast. And
Oh, so the Netflix part of this was done over in the UK, huh?
I guess some of the producers are in the UK.
Huh. You would think that they would produce it here. Maybe their head thing is over there. I don't know anything about Netflix.
I don't either. But you see how I guess they went to each family to do edits or to whatever. But still, I think it's crazy that Mackenzie did the interview. I really, really do.
Oh,
It's gonna bite her.
wait till we get to her daddy's. That will be exclusively on Rumble, probably Tuesday. But I'm really want to see what this idiot has to say, because that's a pretty lengthy video, I think. Anyway.
But since it's been out as of last Friday, I attempted to watch it for a minute or two, and I can't get further than that. I don't want to see it. I'm going to try not to get sad, but I try not to cry and get upset, especially in these interviews, but I had one with Jumpsuit Pablo. It was like a week ago, and like the only time that I got upset, I went to say, he had told me in the calls that like she just doesn't show any remorse, and my thought was, oh my God, she doesn't care about my brother at all. She doesn't feel bad. She doesn't think about him, and to me, it's like he died. Like she didn't even love him. You know what I'm saying? He died for no reason, and that really that pulls my heart out. Like that, she just doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no anymore since she was tried and convicted and sentenced. It's never in all her calls or her actions. I haven't gotten a letter of I missed like nothing. You would have thought that she missed but he's not talked about that she doesn't care whatsoever. So that really, it makes me feel like he died for no reason.
Now, we've learned that Christine launched a petition. It's to create what's called Dom's Law. So a law to change the current Son of Sam laws. And part of the petition reads, Son of Sam laws were first created in the late 1970s after public outrage that serial killer David Berkowitz could profit from his crimes. At the time, lawmakers were primarily concerned about book deals, movie rights, and interviews, and paid media contracts. Today, criminals are able to profit long before a book or movie deal is ever signed. For notoriety-seeking offenders, attention itself is the ultimate currency. Convicted violent offenders can easily convert public attention into paid clicks, live stream gifts, merchandise, paid appearances, and crowdfunding, often hiding these profits behind family members, fan pages, LLCs, or other loopholes. Our current laws are outdated because they were written long before TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, podcasts, and affiliate links were even thought about. This petition calls on lawmakers to create a modern, constitutionally sound law that prevents convicted violent offenders, especially those convicted of homicide or crimes causing serious bodily injury, from turning crime-based notoriety into personal profit, perks, business opportunities, or indirect financial gain. And we're going to put a link to that petition in our show notes if you guys are interested in learning more. But Diane, what do you think about that?
Well, I just inherently, I think we've seen a lot of bad law created as a reaction of certain high-profile cases. And here's my response to this one in particular, is just that there's a lot of innocent people that are actually convicted of crimes. And even if there's not a lot, some viewer thinks there are innocent individuals that are convicted of serious violent crimes. And for them to not be able to use social media and to use other platforms to either outsource and pay for the legal defense that actually is the only way or mechanism they might actually be exonerated, it just is, it strikes me in a way, right? And also I will just say, Jesse, this is the world we live in. Whether you hate it or love it, like this is the world we live in, and it's consumer based. And the only way that people can make money, that have been convicted for crimes is because there is a receptive audience for it. And certainly you can't control that. But I think really it can't be underscored that there are individuals that are certainly and have sought relief from being able to, get funding for litigation and then have been, found to be actually innocent. So to close that loophole and deny them that opportunity, I think would be gross.
Diane Menashe, thank you so much for taking the time to break it down with me. Really, really interesting stuff. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also check us out on NBC's Peacock as well. If you want to follow me, X, Instagram, my News Nation show, Jesse Weber Live, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern. See you next time, everybody.
All right.
So you see, she brought up the fact that there are innocent people still sitting in jail. And that's where it would be, okay, fine. They get exonerated, they come out, they want to make a movie, write a book, get in touch with producers to cover it. More power to them. But for people who are actually guilty, and all fingers point that way, and the evidence didn't lie in court, I don't think they should be able to profit off of it. But that's just my opinion.
Oh, I completely agree with you. Why isn't this going away?
I don't know.
Okay, is it still up there, the big black square?
I don't see a big black square.
Is it you and I in the middle of the screen?
No, we're down at the bottom.
Okay, I'll refresh real quick.
Crazy. There you are. Yeah, don't hear you. You're muted. Don't hear you. I don't hear you. Can't hear him. Can't hear him. Don't hear. Still can't hear you. I don't know what happened. I'm not a very good lip reader. Right, there's no sound. Nope. Nope. Oh no. I guess he's going to come right back in. Right, Nancy? Oh no. I'm not a lip reader. I don't understand.
Maybe this time.
There you go.
All right. Phew. All right, boys and girls, guys and gals. And it's still funky over here. Something's still going on because it's not letting. Oh, there it is. All right, guys and gals, boys and girls. I'm going to have to get out of here. Mama's got a doctor's appointment here in just a little while. I forgot about it. We ran over. Thank you, everyone who showed up and hung out with Dee and I today. Thank you, everybody over on Rumble. It's been amazing.
Yes.
You guys know that we are here. I'm here Monday through Friday from about 11 Eastern Standard Time till around 1 o'clock or so. I hope every one of you have a marvelous, fantastic weekend. It looks like we're going to get Saturday, but Sunday, here comes the rain.
Oh, wow.
All right, Dee. Well, girly girl, I'm not going to get to hang out and yak at you. Mama just came in here and said, hey, I got to go to the doctor.
Right. All right. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourselves.
Right on, right on, right on. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.